I've always been fascinated by nomads. Constantly on the move.
That's the most beautiful journey.
Surviving in the world's most remote wildernesses.
Where's the removal van when you need it?
And living cheek by jowl with nature, it's always seemed a wildly romantic existence.
It's the most magical place.
But it's no easy life.
It's the sort of cold that makes you feel physically sick.
And in today's modern world, they're under increasing pressure. I'm going to live with 3 groups of nomads. In Nepal,
Namaste.
Mongolia,
Sambeno.
and now with the Nanettes in Siberia.
An incredibly exhilarating feeling.
These reindeer herders have always lived life on the margins. But today, giant global threats are encroaching on their traditional migrations. Can they hold on to their ancient way of life? The Yamal Peninsula in northern Russia, a vast and frozen wasteland jutting deep into the Arctic Circle. Home to the nomadic reindeer people, the Nanettes. In their language, Yamal means end of the world, and if anywhere feels like that, it's this place.
Minus 26 is the air temperature, but with the wind chill, it's minus 35.3. I have never been in the Arctic wilderness in the teeth of the winter. I feel inadequately prepared for life in a landscape like this and in temperatures like these. It's truly impossible to imagine how any human being could or would choose to live in a region like this.
The Nanettes have survived in these extremes for generations. But now they're facing serious threats that could undermine their traditional way of life.
Like so many places in the world, this is an environment that's changing rapidly.
Particularly with regards to climate. In 2013, a dramatic temperature rise in midwinter led to the death of thousands of reindeer.
But it isn't the only threat to these people. The discovery of huge reserves of gas in the northern peninsula have brought in machinery, have brought in roads, have brought in railways.
This massive infrastructure supporting the gas industry is squeezing and blocking the Nanettes' migratory routes. I'm hoping to find out how they're coping as these pressures stack up against them. It's early December, and our journey begins at the edge of the Arctic Circle in the town of Salakart. From here, 6-wheel drive trucks called Trekkels are taking us 200 kilometers further north. We've arranged a rendezvous with a Nanette's family who are migrating south across the tundra, the barren permafrost of the Yamal Peninsula.
We've been making our way painfully slowly along this very difficult road, and suddenly the truck in front of us, which is carrying all the fuel and a lot of our equipment, lost an entire tyre. This is the size of the thing that we're dealing with. So poor Sergei and Igor are now having to try and work out how they can get this back on the trailer.
Мама, что если мы... Сейчас я задомкрачу эту фигню?
As night falls, the temperature drops to -40. Attempting a repair in these conditions is perilously difficult. The trailer didn't get fixed last night, and we ended up here, which is one of these strange trading posts next to the railway. It was midnight, and everybody decided that if there was anywhere to stay, we would give up for the night. We did actually find a part, which is miraculous, and Sergei and Igor are welding it onto the trailer. But we spent the night here in a shipping container, everybody crowded in together. Frankly, if we manage to get to the Nanets camp today, I think it'll be a miracle. This remote trading post serves as a depot for Gazprom, the Russian energy giant exploiting the gas fields here. And as one of the many reindeer slaughterhouses that are dotted across the peninsula. In recent years, many Nanets have been forced to leave their nomadic lives. Some of them have ended up working here. I heard there was very bad weather for reindeer last year, and that a lot of herders like yourself lost a lot of animals.
Получился двойной лет. Там нас вообще там, а нам там нечего кушать.
Ты это тямил, это тямаду. Ты это тямаду кам. Табирно, ха, хвайка. Хвайка мязма, унчамулер. Ты идём, меньдер, mana?
Как обычно.
Мы делаем, мы, не. Я так он пяринг удаву, я кан пясинга майдота. Да, дарыгу. Да, там, том, я там, махрави кондом, махраваш, том. 3 месяца махрам тикон, 4 месяца махрам, заработаю. Хабардан, и мы, коробка не хабардан. Ты уверен, не капото, то. Я не вижу, уверен, если ты нарим, ты нарим. Харав гила, тарнинго, хараван.
It's a truly heartbreaking story, one that's been repeated across the tundra. In 2013, over 15,000 reindeer died, and over 60 families were ruined.
Is there one thing that you would hold responsible for that you would blame for that?
Понимаете? А если мы свои законы топчем, допустим, сами себя не ценим, не уважаем, тогда нас никто как бы не будет уважать.
With the trailer repaired, there's over 100 kilometers to go. And the temperature is a staggeringly low -54.
Basically, we tried to leave the trading post, and almost instantly the truckle got a puncture. And as they were fixing that, the diesel started to freeze in both vehicles, so nothing is working. I think the real concern is that if we try and head off even further into the wilderness, we might be stranded in the middle of nowhere.
To make matters worse, the delays mean we've missed our rendezvous with the Nanette's family we had planned to stay with. We've no choice but to head back to our starting point, the town of Salakart.
Being up there at that trading post gave me a real sense of, of another way of life. I just felt deeply saddened by the way that those people's lives had turned out. Those men were killing reindeer. Day in, day out, that was their job. And those were people whose whole lives had been about living with, living alongside, and looking after reindeer. That would destroy the most robust of human souls.
Having missed the meeting with our original family, we need to find another group who will take us in.
Our quest for a new reindeer herding family has begun in a different truckle, this one running on petrol, so hopefully it won't freeze up, despite the fact that it is absolutely bitter again outside, -35.
We head for another slaughterhouse where we've been told Nanette's families are delivering their reindeer.
Is this the place? The slaughterhouse is over there.
At this time of year, the Nanettes come in from their camps in the surrounding tundra to sell some of their animals. The cash they earn will buy what they need to survive the year ahead.
Maybe we'll go up. Let's go up and see.
It's an extraordinary but sad sight as the reindeer are rounded up into pens ready for slaughter. Every part of the animal is used. The meat is sold into a profitable global market, while the fur is made into clothing.
It's indescribably cold. It's the sort of cold that makes you feel physically sick if you exert yourself in any way. And it feels like I've jumped into this otherworldly scene of kind of life and death. It's hard to describe when your brain is frozen. It's so cold. I can feel my eyelashes freezing to my cheeks.
The Yamal Peninsula is home to the world's largest reindeer population, with 600,000 animals looked after by 15,000 nomads.
It's rather sad that my first view of the reindeer here is the ones that are about to be slaughtered. But I suppose what they also represent is the survival for another year of the people who own them.
With the reindeer rounded up, their owners take a break inside a communal building.
Good? Should we do that one as well? Ready? Oh, let's go.
There are several families here, but one seems particularly friendly.
So Natasha, who lives with your family? And will you be migrating again when you're finished here, Natasha? Would you allow me to come and learn from you about the Nanette's way of life? Women are in charge, always.
We set off for the family's camp, Natasha and her daughter guiding the way while Kostya travels back on his sledge. It's an hour's drive through the snow and across a frozen river.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, you're doing good driving, Daniel, don't worry.
Ой. На связи, да? She is trying to fall.
Связи рыгаться, он не маркиза.
There's a man up the tree here. I was thinking, what on earth is he doing? Apparently he's trying to get mobile phone signal. This is modern nomadism for you. Oh, it's beautiful, look.
Natasha and Kostya are nearing the end of their 500-kilometre seasonal migration. At the moment, they're moving every few days. They're travelling with two other families. Next door is Yegor, Kostya's brother, and in the third tent, or chum, is their friend Vitali.
Okay, okay.
These traditional chums are all that protect these families from the harsh Siberian winter. A simple wooden frame is covered with reindeer skins, and that's it. Without a fire, it's as cold inside as out, and right now, that's minus 38.
But what a place to be. Something so harsh and bleak about this landscape. And it seems amazing that these little pyramids of snow are enough to keep whole families alive in conditions as harsh as this. I think the thing that always strikes me is just how pared down their lives are. You know, this is it.
Natasha and Kostya have 4 children, 3 boys away at boarding school and a 5-year-old daughter, Papanea, and their cat, Marushka.
Okay.
Okay.
What type of fish is this? Is it from the river or from the sea? And do you fish for it?
Traditionally, the Nanettes would have caught their own fish or traded with other families. But now, with the arrival of the road, they can buy supplies from passing traders.
Oh, it is. I don't think I've ever eaten raw frozen fish before, but it's not bad.
It seems the modern sits alongside the ancient here. They camp where the mobile signals best, but still live in reindeer skin tents and ride on hand-carved wooden sleds.
If things like telephone connection are important, does that mean that your generation is camping in different areas than the generation before there were phones? Have you sort of moved your migratory routes?
Kostya has to move the herd to new pasture. So while his neighbours round up the reindeer to pull the sleds, he prepares the harnesses.
So is it the same rule for children?
In Nanette's culture, once a female reaches puberty, it's considered bad luck if she steps over ropes, poles, and even men's boots. It's believed to bring misfortune to the family and their herd.
So, Kostya, when I see this, should I lift it up and put it over like this?
No, just walk
So I have to walk around it. And that's just for women. For men, it's okay, you can step? Okay.
These ancient beliefs are part of the Nanette's animist faith. They believe everything in nature possesses a spiritual force. When women start to menstruate, they become directly connected to this force, known by the Nanettes as Saya May. Kostya and his neighbours share over 300 reindeer, and like their ancestors, they rely on them for food, warmth and transport. The three families own individual animals, but they all share the workload. Amazingly, Kostya, Yegor and Vitali can tell each animal apart, even at several hundred meters.
Oh, we got it. Good shot.
The Nanette's animals are semi-domesticated cousins of wild reindeer. The bulk of the herd is for trading, while some are used to pull sleds. A few are believed to be sacred and will not be killed until they're too old to walk.
Can you all explain to me how important reindeer are to your life?
Bercaca, bercaca. Caca, bercaca.
So this is my first breakneck ride on a reindeer sled. It's an incredibly exhilarating feeling.
We're taking the herd out to new pasture for the night. It's a 4-kilometre ride.
And the ground looks incredibly rough, but it's actually quite a smooth ride, and they move a lot faster than you'd think.
The men's days are ruled by caring for their reindeer, making sure they get enough food and protecting the herd from predators like foxes, eagles, wolverines and wolves.
Actually, it's quite heavy. I don't quite know how we're going to get through here. We're going just splashing through some trees.
After half an hour, we arrive at a clearing. The reindeer scrape through the snow to reach the lichen below. Remarkably, it's all that sustains them through the long winter months. The Nannettes need to be constantly on the move, migrating up and down the peninsula to ensure that their herds have enough to eat.
Just to be out here with these people, having had all the trials and tribulations we've had. And what was really, really lovely was just seeing how Kostya completely understood his reindeer, his dogs, the landscape. You know, I've only just met him. I think I've lost my heart.
And this little puppy, you did well, didn't you, little tail?
You can see he's clearly learning from the other dogs. And when the other dogs are all going, "Arr, arr," this one's going, "Arr, arr." See? Go on, do it again. "Arr, arr." Go on, little tail.
Это он как это могу. Хорошо, поняла.
We all bed down in the chum together. The family on one side, the crew and I on the other. I'm not quite sure what time it is in the morning. They've been amazingly hospitable, these two. They absolutely refused to let me and the crew sleep in a tent. They thought we'd die. So we spent the night here in the chum, and I think this is where we're going to be for the next week. Quite tired.
So there is many challenging things about this environment, but there's one challenge that doesn't get any easier, and that involves quite a long walk through thick, inhospitable snow, the wind howling, your nose dribbling, until finally you think, okay, is this far enough away? But we have to bear in mind that it's about -20 out here this morning, so the key is be quick.
Most days, the men tend to the reindeer, whilst the women look after the home. And these strict gender roles also extend to the dress code. It turns out I've been unwittingly upsetting the men with my clothing. So Natasha and her neighbour, which is also her sister-in-law, have told me that basically wearing a pair of salopettes is completely unacceptable. So I need to wear a skirt. So do you both make all your clothes? So Natasha, how did you meet Kostya? What happens? Can you tell me about Nanette's wedding? So when your sons are older, will you do the same for them? Okay, so I put it in like that. Yeah? What do you think? What? Come here. Look at us. We are the best looking girls on the tundra. What do you think? Pretty? Yeah? Natasha and Kostya's camp is next to the Gazprom railway. This afternoon, the director of the 350-mile train track is coming to visit. The railway has blocked some of the Nanette's migration routes as the reindeer and sleds struggle to cross the track. The gas industry has also been accused of damaging feeding grounds. Alexandra Malanchuk and his family are here on a PR exercise to find out how this heavy industry is affecting the Nanette's lives.
Yeah.
So Galina and Galina, is this your first time up to this area?
Первый раз. Я первый
Your
раз.
first time?
Первый
First
раз.
time. And Alexander, you work up here? You're based up here, your work?
Да, я здесь живу и здесь работаю. Здесь нормально. Обеспечиваем доставку грузов на Баванинское месторождение. Да, перевозками занимаемся.
When the Soviet state collapsed in the 1990s, multinational corporations flooded in to explore the tundra for its huge gas reserves. In 2011, Gazprom, the Russian energy giant, began to exploit them. At $41 billion, it's the fourth most expensive energy project in the world and a vital and strategic part of the Russian economy.
How did you meet Kostya and Natasha?
В прошлом году Константин как раз весной был рядышком здесь. Мне интересно их быт, как они живут, соответственно, да. Ну и интересно, значит, насколько они привязаны к дороге.
To compensate the Nanettes for blocking some of their migration routes, the railway has made concessions.
И, соответственно, мы должны строить специальные переходы плавные, чтобы могли на оленей упряжках спокойно переезжать. Ну, я вам скажу, что насколько полезно.
Was any compensation given to the nomadic people in this area?
Ну, в любом случае, любая индустриализация, она приносит какой-то определенный урон наносит. Соответственно, конечно, оплачивают им за вот эти земли, за которые мы...
The gas industry pays each Nanette's adult £20 a month and funds development across the tundra.
Арендуем, да. За счет этого развивается их социальника, значит, строятся поселки, обустраиваются.
Do you think that this is good progress for the people of the tundra?
Всегда придет то время, когда они сами решат, когда им где жить. Почему бы нет? Цивилизация найдет.
It was a very interesting little visit. I thought the most telling thing about him was how extraordinarily well media trained he was. There was a man who was never, ever, ever going to answer a question straight.
There are, no doubt, some benefits for the Nanettes. The tax revenues raised by the local government from the gas industry are helping to finance schools and medical facilities in the Yamal district.
What scares me is that these are big, powerful industries and I suspect pretty unstoppable. Is this a way of them seemingly to be doing the local people here a favour when actually what they're doing is gently eradicating their culture?
With gas production planned to treble over the next 15 years, the impact on the Nanettes is only just beginning. It's very early in the morning and the family are on the move.
It's migration day, the absolute essence of nomadism. For me, it's incredibly romantic. It's sort of thing that as a child, you know, I wanted to be a nomad or a gypsy or in the circus, you know, somebody who was constantly on the move.
Kostya, Natasha, their neighbours and their reindeer are heading for new pastures, and I'm going with them. Everything has to be packed up and put on a specific sled.
Literally 5 minutes ago, everyone was sitting around, very relaxed, having tea, and then suddenly the whole thing is dismantled in what seems like moments. It's like trying to manoeuvre giant chopsticks.
It's taken 3 hours to pack 3 families and their entire lives onto 33 sleds. The migration is a colourful affair. The sleds are decorated with bells and red leather tassels, and the reindeer wear special harnesses.
It's a very beautiful thing. What's it made out of? This is mammoth. Really? Do you still find mammoth sometimes out in the tundra? Okay. The women are concerned that this jacket won't be good enough. And actually, oh my god, but that looks very special.
This reindeer skin coat is called a yagushka. Handmade and intricately embroidered by the women, it can take as long as a year to complete.
Like that. It looks very special. Are you sure I'm allowed to wear this? Gradually they're getting their wicked way and turning me into an Annette's woman.
Good.
Yeah? Oh, I feel very, very honoured.
With everything finally packed, we're off. We head down the ice road alongside the railway, with the herd following behind. Kostya and Natasha have travelled nearly 500 kilometres south since September, and now are only a few weeks away from their winter grazing grounds. Dusk's falling as we head off the road and onto the wide, open tundra. After 6 kilometres, we arrive at the new camp, just as the wind picks up.
Beautiful journey. There's something just amazing about looking back, and there was this great line of reindeer and their sledges and their loads. And what was quite funny was we stopped in this place and then Natasha came up and we could see her standing like this. She was checking the mobile phone signal, and I'm assuming it was okay. Oh, hold on, Kostya. Because we've now stopped.
The floor's laid out first. Then the chum framework goes up. It's intriguingly simple. 3 poles tied together that the others lean against. But trying to cover the frame with a gale blowing is a bit of a challenge.
1, 2, 3.
As the last layer of reindeer skin goes on, the family is protected against the worst that Siberia can throw at it. Natasha lights a fire inside, and the dogs curl up outside.
I'm tired. That was a tiring day. But will this be now where you spend the rest of the winter? Wow. So how many times will you move to get there? 5 more times?
Yeah.
When do you then begin to migrate back in the summer.
Апрель обратно. Punya апрель.
Well, it was a great honour to be part of it today.
Альмань бивач.
Подрагом той на нянго. Унин жарна тер мусит нян беру, некол перу. Кошкамо, мусами. Ну, эмангласты.
So this is our new home. What I'm really getting the sense of is this relationship between them and their reindeer. It's a symbiotic relationship which allows people and animal to be up in this really wild place and to not just to scratch a survival, but live a kind of enviably successful way of life here. It's quite funny, I just caught Natasha having a little moment with some of her reindeer. She's a complete softie, and she comes out here with bits of bread and feeds some of her favourites. Including you, doesn't she? Hmm? I haven't got any bread. You're a reindeer, you're supposed to eat lichen.
The reindeer are meticulously cared for because the Nanettes simply can't live without them. Reindeer meat is the staple food, and one animal can last a family up to a month.
So, Kostya is killing a reindeer now. And he stuns the animal first with the axe on the top of the head. And then he stabs it in the back of the head and then straight into the heart. And the animal's dead already.
This is a non-breeding male that's been kept specifically for meat. Nothing will be wasted. The Nanettes eat some of the reindeer meat raw, and the fat and offal while it's still warm. It's a delicacy to drink the blood, which is salted to stop it congealing.
Very small, Kostya.
But the biggest treat is the warm, raw liver.
So I take all of it, like this, and can I have half of it?
Можете не полностью совать всё.
It's quite a mental process to eat this. I can't say I'm enjoying it terribly much, but it's actually a very mild taste and an oddly kind of quite a crisp texture. You sort of expect liver to be soft because I've only ever had it cooked before.
The families gather round the reindeer carcass to eat their fill, but they've asked us not to film any close-ups. In the past, the Nanettes have been portrayed badly in Russian and foreign media, sometimes being called savages and even vampires for eating raw meat. But why wouldn't you eat the meat while it's fresh and warm? In this cold, it'll be frozen solid in minutes. The Nanettes make almost everything they need: their sleds, harnesses, chums, and all their clothing. Whilst Kostya works on some antlers that he can sell, Natasha's making sewing thread from dried reindeer sinew.
I got my own hair. And I should have plaited it into my hair. Don't tempt me.
Hello?
It's one of Natasha and Kostya's sons. Their 3 sons are away at school. It's the legacy of the old Soviet system which provided education for all Nanettes. Most children have to board as their parents are constantly on the move.
Is it hard to send your children away to school? And do they then come back and spend the holidays here with you? And Papanea, how old will she be when she goes to school?
Natasha, get her on the subject of education, and you can see there's a slight sort of mistiness comes over her. She would love, I think, to have gone to university. And although Kostya and Natasha feel very rooted here to the tundra, it would be interesting to see what choices their children make. And I suppose the reality is, will they actually be able to make that choice, or will gas extraction and climate actually take that choice away from them? I don't know. It's my last morning living alongside Natasha, Kostya and their family.
Thank you so much for all your help. Thank you for lending me your beautiful coat. I've become genuinely fond of the whole family. So leaving them is going to be hard. Okay, Papa Nay. Gotcha. Gotcha. This is a life that is incredibly difficult, not just because it's so cold, you know, we're north of the Arctic Circle. This is a life on the edge. Natasha. Thank you. Nomadic families all over the world are adapting, evolving, if you like, to include parts of the modern world that suit them. But I get the feeling here that they've done all those things, but there is such a big outside influence that is also chipping insidiously away at their lives. And that is the fact that the Yamal Peninsula is one big gas reserve. Thank you. Thanks, Kostya. Spasiba. Frankly, a few nomadic people are not going to be able to stop that level of development. And I really hope I'm wrong, but I'm just not sure, and that makes me feel genuinely sad.
Next time, I journey to Mongolia. It's the most magical place. To live with a family of nomads who are adapting to the modern world, deep in the Gobi Desert. But life in this wilderness is still dominated by the power of nature.
Like any good Mongolian spring day, it's starting to snow.
As storms and predators constantly threaten their nomadic way of life.
I can't stand here and say, don't kill that wolf. It's not my place to.
Kate's adventures continue next Friday at 9. Great footballers pitch up on Claire Balding's show next on BBC Two. Paul Gascoigne on life and addiction, along with Stuart Pearce and goalie David Seaman.